First of all, I want to start this video by saying that I hope every single one of you watching and all your family are all well and healthy and haven't got the coronavirus, and that you're staying at home and protecting yourselves and your family and everyone that you know from it. That's the intro done. Let's get into the video. So officially, fixtures in the National League North and South will be resuming next weekend, the weekend around the 3rd and 4th of April. Now, in reality, that is not going to happen. Very, very simple. Because of the whole coronavirus outbreak, it's all getting a lot worse, and it is only going to continue to get worse, unfortunately. But obviously that leaves all of the league structures with a big headache. How do they go about ending the season? What is the best route to go down? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be unhappy. It's a completely unenviable situation to be in, but we're going to look at it all in this video and how non-league could be finishing this season. First of all, this video is sponsored by OneFootball, who are going to keep you up to date with lots of different football news, both during the current coronavirus situation and eventually when football restarts. There's lots of information on there about fixtures, news, and all sorts of different things that are really handy during the season. So yeah, to prepare for when football eventually restarts, click the link in the top line of the description to go and download it. Yeah, as I mentioned, the games are due to recommence next weekend in the top levels of non-league, but in the top level of the football pyramid, the Premier League, and in the EFL, that is going to happen at the end of April. There seems to be a real determination from the Premier League and Football League to complete their seasons, no matter what, try and find some way of completing those seasons, whereas the National League appear to be looking to end the seasons now. Boreham Wood released a statement which was sent to them by National League CEO Michael Tattersall, and it read that the National League have attended a meeting by video conference with the Football Association, and they've been asked to assist us with making the decisions to officially postpone all remaining National League fixtures and to end the season as soon as possible for the purposes of player contracts. The National League is also working with the FA to define all reasonable and practical options for the determination of the 2019-20 season, and to provide guidance to clubs on dealing with player contracts, player registrations, and the application of the coronavirus job retention scheme. We will continue to press for updates and will ensure that any further information is relayed to clubs as soon as it is received. The league is very aware that clubs are looking for answers and greater certainty, and we remain focused on delivering these in the most timely manner possible. Please keep the flow of information going with the league's directors and staff, and be assured that we will respond as soon as we can when updates are available on the various issues. And then he finishes by thanking clubs for submitting their financial questionnaires and wishes everyone well. So this looks like there is a real statement of intent here for the seasons to be ended. It is a bit bizarre that this statement has only come through Boreham Wood at present, rather than officially through the National League channels, but as it is a statement on behalf of the National League CEO, it does seem relatively concrete. Also, according to BBC journalist Ollie Bayliss, who covers a lot of the lower levels of non-league in particular, he said that Step 5 and 6 leagues are finished for the 19-20 season. A decision whether the season will be declared void or if promotion and relegation could still apply will be made shortly. The decision is expected to apply across all of non-league. That opens up a whole can of worms of teams that are just simply not going to be satisfied. There's the two main ways that you can determine the ending of the season, and that is to look at the points per game ratio and just ending the season, completely wiping it clean, making it null and void. First option, in my opinion, is the much better option, because it actually means that the teams have worked for something this season and that the games that they've played so far have contributed towards something. It's also a relatively fair way of doing it because it is done on merit of what the teams have achieved up to this point. In the National League, nothing really changes in terms of league positions of note. Barrow sits top of the table on both points per game and also in terms of their actual league standing at this point, and they've been top of the league for a long time. They are the worthy champions, in my opinion, of the National League. They're a few points clear at the top of Harrogate, who sit in second, and that's where, for me, the even bigger headache is caused. What on earth do you do with the teams in the playoffs? If you're taking away the ability to take part in the playoffs, then that takes away that whole route to go up. If you look at it as a way of just promoting the second place team, then that I see is probably what is going to happen. So for example, in the National League, Harrogate will get promoted up to the Football League. If they're going to do promotions, then that has got to surely be the way that they do it, if they're not going to go and play those playoff fixtures. Because the other way would be to rank all the teams inside the playoffs based off points per game, and then just play some sort of playoff structure, whether that happens soon, whether that happens in a few weeks or months' time. That just keeps that side of things equal, but then there's obviously going to be the teams that are chasing the playoffs and are just outside of it on points per game, that may be on a good run of form and fancy their chances of getting up into those playoffs. But you know, that's just putting too many ifs and buts into the situation, in my opinion. If they're going to play the playoffs, then, you know, do that at some point, maybe just before the start of next season. But if the National League want to just end the season, then surely that will mean that the playoffs are effectively not going to happen. Down the relegation zone in the National League, that stays the same as it currently stands. The 4 teams in the relegation zone are the lowest 4 on points per game as well. Into National League North, and in my opinion, this is where it does get very interesting right up at the top. York City currently sit top of the table. They have 2 points more than second place Kings Lynn, but Kings Lynn have 2 games in hand. Points per game wise, second placed Kings Lynn actually have a better points per game of exactly 2, whereas York have a points per game of 1.94. If you're doing it strictly off points per game and you're not going to automatically promote the second place team, then that will see Kings Lynn leapfrog York City and get promoted. That is hugely controversial in my opinion, especially when you consider the form of Kings Lynn. They have won just 1 in 6 league games. They are on a poor run of form. There are a lot of points clear at the top of the table a few weeks before the end of the sort of the end of the season, if you can count that, a couple of weeks ago. But York have caught them up and overtaken them. Yes, there are games in hand, but that has been an interesting title battle all season. They've exchanged places the whole way. So to decide it and to put one of them up based off points per game, in my opinion, would be harsh. For me, I think those are the 2 teams that need to get promoted. However, if this is put into place and the seasons are effectively now ended, then this is going to put a lot of pressure onto the Football League and Premier League to effectively go and follow suit and do the same. The pressure shouldn't come that way around, really. Effectively, whatever happens at the top of the game, that should then filter down. But if you've got non-league putting pressure on the Football League and Premier League to make a decision on how they're going to end their seasons, then surely it's going to be the same throughout the pyramid. But there does seem to be an eagerness from the Premier League and Football League to end their seasons in some way. Who knows how long it's going to take before we're actually able to get underway with football. It could potentially be months and months. So I see the argument for ending the seasons now and just effectively giving people more knowledge and certainty of when next season is going to start, and to prepare for next season in terms of signing players, getting player contract renewals done. It's likely that this situation is going to move quite quickly over the next few days and weeks. So I'll try and keep you up to date as much as possible on this channel, but let me know in the comment section down below what you think is the best way to end the season, not only in non-league but also right through the pyramid as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How does it affect your team? I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to hit the like button and click subscribe as well to update with lots of different information from non-league football. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.